Welcome to this explainer. Okay, let's dive right into this. Because look, if you're trying to navigate the tech landscape in 2026, you already know the AI market is an absolute jungle. I mean, there are literally hundreds of tools out there, all claiming they're going to completely revolutionize how you work and study. But let's be real. As a focused learner, you don't have time for all that marketing fluff, right? You just need what actually works. So today, our mission is to cut straight through that noise. We're going to evaluate these tools using hard data, so you can build yourself a reliable, totally cost-effective toolkit. Which brings us to the million-dollar question. How often does your AI just lie to you? Seriously, how often does it simply invent facts out of thin air? Because if you're using standard, unverified AI tools for your academic research or your professional reports, you are taking a massive risk. You know, generic chatbots are designed to sound confident. They're not necessarily designed to be factual. And when you're writing a thesis, a literature review, or a critical business document relying on an AI that hallucinates, yeah, that can completely derail your credibility. So we absolutely have to solve this problem first. So the crucial point is we need a roadmap. Here's exactly what we're covering today. First, AI reliability and hallucination rates. Second, AI language learning features. Third, pricing and free trials. And finally, the best apps for beginners. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, AI reliability and hallucination rates. Listen, when you're doing serious work, reliability absolutely dominates everything else. A beautifully designed app is totally useless if it's feeding you fabricated citations, right? To measure this, researchers use something called the hallucination-to-verification ratio, or the H/V ratio. Basically, it measures how often an AI makes up false claims compared to claims we can actually verify. To put that into perspective for academics, an H/V under 0.1 is great. If it's between 0.1 and 0.3, well, you need to verify literally everything. And if it's over 0.3, that is considered actively dangerous for research. Just don't do it. Now, what's really interesting about this data is the massive gap in performance on a recent 200-paper benchmark. Look at Atlas. It sits right at the top with an incredibly reliable 0.05 score. Why? Because it uses paragraph-level citation grounding. It literally points to the exact text it's paraphrasing. Now, conversely, check out Perplexity with a pretty risky 0.42. Now, to be fair, this isn't necessarily a failure of Perplexity itself. It searches the open web, and well, the web is full of incorrect content. But that means roughly 4 in 10 claims might need checking. That's a lot of extra work. So, what's the architectural secret behind these scores? It basically comes down to this trade-off. Standard tools often stream data through a massive context window. It's kind of like trying to read a whole library at once. The retrieval gets fuzzy, and the AI model starts filling in the blanks by guessing. And guessing leads to hallucinations. On the flip side, specialized research tools like Atlas build a knowledge graph. They constrain their search to actual verified connections within the documents. Fewer gaps to fill means way fewer hallucinations. But hey, what if you want literally zero hallucinations? Enter Google's NotebookLM. This thing simply refuses to search the internet. It only uses the specific PDFs or lecture slides that you personally upload into it. And it gets better. It has this amazing audio overviews feature that basically turns your notes into a custom two-host podcast. I mean, imagine just listening to a breakdown of your Chapter 5 textbook while you're driving to campus. How cool is that? Moving right along to Section 2, AI language learning features. Pivoting away from research for a second, we all know general models like ChatGPT are incredible, but they simply aren't built for the nuances of language fluency. And that brings us to Langua. Right now, this is the most realistic tool for spoken fluency, period. Instead of those clunky, robotic voices we're all used to, it uses actual clones of real native speakers. You can jump into travel role plays, debate complex topics, get really deep verbal and written corrections, and then, this is the best part, it intelligently reintegrates your saved vocabulary into future conversations, so you actually remember the words. Now, if we look at some other popular options out there, there's a really clear contrast in approach. Take Speak, for example. It offers excellent scaffolding and a highly polished interface for beginners who really need structured, well-paced lessons. Compare that to Duolingo Max, which definitely takes a more gamified route. Duolingo Max relies heavily on an animated avatar named Lily and simulation-style adventures. It's trusted, it's familiar, sure, but honestly, the conversational practice often feels like a bit of an afterthought when you compare it to the deep, personalized role plays you'd get in dedicated AI fluency tools. Okay, let's talk money. Section 3, pricing and free trials. Because let's face it, transitioning to an AI-powered workflow really shouldn't drain your bank account. Take this number, $30 a month. That is the current cost of a Duolingo Max subscription. I want to warn you about these expensive paywalls. You really have to ask yourself, is $30 a month for an animated avatar actually worth it? Especially when it might lack the deepest, most realistic conversational practice you need to become fluent. You really got to be a smart consumer here. Let's move to and see how this cost builds with an industry giant like ChatGPT. So, in 2026, they use a layered tier system, Free, Go, Plus, and Pro. But here's the massive secret that enterprise managers already know. Buying a higher tier is never going to fix a weak prompt. The raw intelligence gap between these models is shrinking every single day, but the gap between a good prompt and a bad prompt, that remains massive. Seriously, master your prompts before you even think about upgrading your tier. But hey, if you want a true powerhouse tool without opening your wallet at all, look no further than Claude.ai. It has absolutely become the favorite among students in 2026, and for good reason. Claude's free tier is exceptionally capable. Because of its massive context window, you can literally drop a 50-page PDF into the free version and just start asking it questions. And more importantly, Claude is famous for its careful reasoning and academic honesty. It is way more likely to just tell you, I don't know, rather than hallucinate a false answer. And when you're studying, that is exactly what you want. Which brings us to our final stop, Section 4, Best Apps for Beginners. We've covered hallucination rates, language tools, and pricing. So if you're starting entirely fresh, here is a brilliant 3-step action plan to build a low-friction toolkit. And this brilliantly illustrates how it all comes together. Step 1, use Semantic Scholar and Claude's free tier for your initial discovery and writing. Step 2, upload your specific class notes and lectures into NotebookLM for that zero hallucination grounding we talked about. And step 3, synthesize it all in Atlas to take advantage of that incredibly reliable 0.05 hallucination ratio. Honestly, it's a completely bulletproof workflow. Ultimately, you are the manager of your own learning. You have to evaluate these tools based on your specific budget, your personal learning goals, and of course, your need for absolute reliability. So my final question to you is this. Are you going to keep treating AI like a magic search engine that might just lie to you, or are you finally ready to hire the right AI assistant for the job? Think about it. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy learning.